Right. Good morning again, everyone. We are back to continue this amazing journey that we've been on this morning, where your real life peers and fellow leaders in operations, technology, and marketing are sharing their stories of success and real life case studies. So we just heard earlier from the marketing and branding award finalists in their 3 categories. Now we're going to be moving on to the operations and technology innovator of the year finalists. So you're going to get to hear, and I'll let them introduce themselves and their brands in more detail, but Kate, Brandy, and Leon, and their respective finalists in the operations and technology areas. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kate with Christian Brothers to get us kicked off.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. I'm excited to spend some time with you all this morning. As Jason mentioned, I'm Kate Gardner. I have the privilege of serving as the Director of Regional and Local Marketing at Christian Brothers Automotive. But yes, I'm here to talk about an operational update today. So Christian Brothers Automotive was founded in 1982, really based on the principle that we could make a difference in the auto care industry if we put the people that we were serving first and those vehicles that we were looking to serve a close second. So many of you in this room, I'm sure, thanks to our industry, maybe have had a situation with car care that was less than stellar. Our approach is really to ensure that what CBA is bringing to the table provides our guests with a welcoming lobby, clear and transparent pricing, and easy scheduling for all of their vehicle care needs. And so this people-first approach at CBA has really enabled and empowered us over the past 40 years to open 310 locations across the US. And we are very proud of our team members for receiving the J.D. Power Award in Customer Satisfaction in our industry for 6 years in a row, every year since that award has been incepted. So what am I here to share today? Well, we took a look around the industry that we work in, and we recognized that extended car care warranties were an area that our guests were really not being served well. There was a lack of transparency in what those car care warranties were covering. There was a lot of confusion about the whole pricing structure, and the claims process is a bit tedious. So last year, we launched our own version of a car care warranty, Nice Difference Care Plus, and we brought that to our franchisees and to our guests to be able to give them that CBA difference in the car care warranty space. So I'd love to take a moment for a quick video to introduce you all to the actual Nice Difference Care Plus product.
Hi, I'm Donnie Clark. I have the opportunity to serve as President and CEO of Christian Brothers Automotive. We've been in the automotive industry for over 40 years, and we've seen a lot of vehicle service contracts. We wanted to bring our core values of neighborly, transparency, excellence, and joy to create a better product for you. We are happy to introduce Nice Difference Care Plus, our very own subscription-based vehicle service contract, giving you comprehensive coverage with a low monthly payment, meaning there's only one type of coverage with a rate that never changes. You want coverage? We can protect your vehicle up to 20 years old or until it accrues 200,000 miles. Our vehicle service contracts cover you at any licensed service center all over the country. Headed out of state? All good. On your way to work? Yep, we got you covered. Getting started requires an inspection by one of our technicians at your local Christian Brothers Automotive. And all calls and claims, they're handled by us, removing the red tape and smoothing out the claims process. Oh, not only do you have nationwide coverage, but here are some of the benefits when you visit one of our shops. Nice Difference Care Plus is in the business of providing peace of mind, protecting you against costly repairs with the convenience of canceling at any time, free of charge. It really is that simple. We're Christian Brothers Automotive, and we're excited to offer you Nice Difference Care Plus. We hope that it can make your vehicle care easier and nicer.
Awesome. So as you guys heard, we really were trying to produce an innovative product in the marketplace. We wanted to ensure that our guests, as they uncovered the life of their vehicle and really ran into maintenance and repair needs that they needed to be covered by an extended car care warranty, that they had an offering that was simple for enrollment, straightforward to use, and very transparent in what would be covered. So for us, in order to actually bring this to life, CBA did acquire an extended vehicle warranty provider and brought them in-house with the company early last year. From that point in time, we worked with that group to integrate them into our brand and really make them part of Christian Brothers Automotive at our support center. We formed 3 key committees that were going to help bring this to life. So first and foremost, we formed a franchisee committee who was going to help bring Care Plus out to the marketplace. We also formed a store team committee because this product does require a lot of interaction from our shop team members, and we wanted to ensure that they were equipped on what technology they needed at the shop to actually sell through this product, and they could give us real-time feedback on what was working and what wasn't working. And then the group that brought this to life was an interdepartmental committee spanning basically every department in the company that really worked through the entire product build out, from the website to the back end to what the actual sales offering was. It took all of these individuals being involved in the conversation for us to be able to offer this industry-leading product today. So we're very excited. It has been something that we've rolled out in a phased approach across all of our franchisee businesses. As of March of this year, all CBA locations are currently offering Care Plus and are selling that through to their guests. Our current active subscriber count is 1,500 individuals, and so we're so thrilled to have them part of the CBA family and serve them through Care Plus. We recognize this will be something that is a key moment in our guest experience going forward, and we're really excited to see how it grows throughout the years. So thank you guys for giving me a moment, and I'll pass it over to Brandy.
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. I'm not so scared because I can't see anybody in the audience with the lights, so that helps. I'm the sales and design director with Kitchen Tune-Up and Bath Tune-Up. We're a kitchen and remodeling franchise. Kitchen Tune-Up has been around since 1988, and Bath Tune-Up was founded in 2020. We complete updates with various timelines, various budgets, and complete them within 1 to 5 days. So just trying to overall uplift the experience of remodeling that some are kind of fearful or dreading to possibly go through. So the innovation I created was the concept for the design style quiz. I teamed up with our graphic designer, Melinda, who's not here, but Melinda's awesome. I collaborated with her and brought this to fruition. Oh, I didn't have the picture. So there's our before and after. That's a refacing project. So majority of our projects are refacing. So what were we solving for? Our pre-existing pre-consultations, we go out to people's homes, in-home consultations, complimentary, bring out products. We have a pre-consultation process. The existing process included what you see on the screen is this static homeowner survey. I would often hear from franchise owners, we don't get a lot of feedback from it. It just has low engagement. We tried coaching through that to help them, help their prospects see the value in the homeowner survey. Again, still kind of kept getting the same feedback. So I thought, why force this? If this isn't working, is there some way we can come up with something that provides more value from the prospect side? So it was leaving our consultants with low completion rates, leaving critical pre-consultation insights. We just needed something that was more engaging, interactive, that would enhance both the customer experience as well as make an impact on sales. So the first idea was we just wanted something interactive. Where would they see the value in this? As people start remodeling, a lot of times they're going on Pinterest, we're getting excited, we're collecting photos, we're on Facebook, remodeling sites. let's meet them there. Let's meet them there with collaborating and understanding those needs, understanding their style ahead of time. So that's kind of the first thought. We initially went to our web dev team, who kind of laughed at us and said, that's like a 2 to 3 year roadmap down the line. We can't help you. So that's when I reached out to Melinda. Again, like I said, she's amazing. I said, Melinda, I want to create this idea, this concept. Can we brainstorm together? Can we problem solve? Because I think we can figure something out. So we initially just started looking at a fillable PDF form, which I think would have been okay. I think it still would have been better than the static form. But as we kept researching online websites, Melinda stumbled upon a platform called Typeform. It builds surveys, quizzes, things like that. Brought it to me, we started looking at it together, and I said, yes, we can make this work. So we built the style quiz, we combined visuals, multiple choice questions, open-ended responses, areas for them to upload photos of their existing kitchen or bathroom, upload photos of inspiration maybe they had been collecting. So we created this guided, enjoyable experience. So the quiz now gathers insights on style, product preferences, scope, priorities, family members, budget expectations, and this has really enabled the sales consultants to be better prepared with products that are more tailored to the customer's needs and desires, which helps then customers make quicker and more confident decisions in the home. So our goal is to sell in the first appointment. But I don't know if you've ever been in a remodeling project of your own. People are fearful of making wrong decisions. People are overwhelmed with too many decisions. So this has enabled us to really cater to that and bring limited selections based on their feedback and their preferences, which is giving them more confidence to be able to say yes and make quicker decisions. So our outcomes were pretty awesome. Sales increased by almost 27% in a time where leads are down 5%. Average ticket has increased by almost 23%. Our closing rate has increased by 3.4%. I have one owner that incorporated this, and he really just struggled, like many salespeople might, talking money, talking budget. He was in a firm belief people don't talk about money with strangers. So the design quiz was able to open that door for him to ask that question, so then he can then dig a little deeper and understand. So it really was an impact for him. He's almost increased his sales by almost 80% year over year. I think that was a big part of it, was just that budget conversation. And then just hearing from owners. Owners have forwarded me emails from their prospects. So this is one that the owner forwarded me. It says, "Thank you, Craig. To say I'm blown away at your process is an understatement. I can't tell you how many contractors I work with on a regular basis and can already tell your company is not like any of them." Craig had also told me at the time, anyone that filled out this survey, the design style quiz, I shouldn't call it a survey, would buy. He goes, we're at 100% closing rate for every single person that's filled out that form ahead of time. Another owner sent me this. We are enjoying the design style quiz. We have more clients completing it than we ever did with the old survey, and we can gather so much more information before our follow-up call and confirm all the selections with them. So yeah, really happy with the overall result of that, and that's our innovation.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brandy.
Awesome. Hello, I'm Leon Devoyan, Chief Technology Officer at Dave's Hot Chicken. And so what I'm going to talk to you guys about is the restaurant industry. And oftentimes the restaurant industry falls behind on changes in the restaurant landscape, shift in people's buying habits. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about is our proactive measure to double down on digital, because as we all know, since the pandemic, digital has grown year over year. When I first started with Dave's, we're doing about 30% digital, and now we have stores that are upwards of 60 to 70% digital, with our company average being somewhere in the middle of 46%. So to take on that challenge, let's start talking about our ordering process. Our motto with ordering is to meet the guest at every intersection of I'm hungry and I want food now. And as you know, our core audience is the younger demographic, so that's exactly how they speak. So to kick things off, we designed a fully customizable app and web ordering experience. And what we did is we tied that custom app with an autonomous promise time delivery engine that basically predicts when your order is going to be ready within 2 minutes of accuracy. And then what we did is we tied that system to our capacity management system. So, in better words, what we did is we allowed the system to basically track the capacity that we're using for digital orders. So if the kitchen is overwhelmed, what the system does is it constricts the digital orders so that the kitchen doesn't get overwhelmed. And then if there's capacity in the kitchen, it basically expands our ordering capabilities to take on more digital orders. And then we also incorporated kiosks into the store, and we tied a smart upsell engine to the kiosks. So what this system does is it looks at your past orders and also same guests, similar orders from other guests, and it basically, in a smart way, it serves up an upsell that's complementary to your order. And we also dipped our toe into voice AI. And typically, restaurant concepts use voice AI at the drive-through as an end product of their journey. What we're doing is we're using voice AI to basically train the system so that one day we can incorporate voice ordering into our mobile app. So busy folks like you can order Dave's without touching their phone. And for the younger demographic, they often play video games, so they can order Dave's without pausing their video games. And as it relates to gaming, when the gaming industry is ready to incorporate ordering into their game, we'll be ready for voice ordering within in-game also. So let's talk about production, because production is very important for digital orders, because once the order leaves the restaurant, you basically lose your ability to make the order right. So with that, our motto is to get every order right, and that's a tall order for anyone that's worked at a restaurant. So to kick things off, we upgraded our KDS system to highlight items that are most missed by the expo person or the production line. And not only did we highlight those items on the KDS screen, but we also highlighted them on the kitchen receipts so that at every touch point before the order leaves the restaurant, our employees basically have focus on the things that are missed the most. And we also hung some cameras and used Vision AI on our production line so that the system can highlight orders as they're being built. And if someone makes a mistake on an order, it'll basically highlight it red, and that's reviewed by the expo person to make sure that all orders are accurate. And so we've also incorporated a fry robot into our fry station. Now, the fry robot, excuse me, not only makes fries autonomously, but it also predicts how much fries we're going to need within the next 5 minutes. And then it produces those fries and spices them so that we have an endless amount of fries that are fresh and ready with the just right amount of fries that are being made. And so lastly, I want to talk to you guys about pickup and delivery. And our motto is to make pickup and delivery so easy that you add Dave's Hot Chicken to your restaurant rotation. And so to start that off, we incorporated order status boards into every restaurant. And what that status board does is basically has your name, and it has the status of your order. And we also incorporated text messaging into the mix so that when the expo person marks your order complete, you get a text message letting you know that your order is ready. And within the next release of our app, we're incorporating those order statuses into the mobile app so that you don't have to get text messages. And so we're also working with a guest arrival tracking platform. And what the system does, and that's if you share your GPS location with us, is that it tracks your journey from your office or your home to the restaurant. And based on your proximity to the restaurant, we either hold the order or early fire the order so that as soon as you get to the restaurant, your order is ready. And lastly, we're incorporating autonomous delivery into our app and web ordering. The reason why we're doing this is because the traditional way of using third-party delivery drivers hasn't been very fruitful. They're not very good at handling the orders, and we've received a lot of guest complaints. So unfortunately, we're going to have robots that are delivering food for us. And so we're using basically rovers and drones to do that. And so to kick off the program, we're partnering up with Cal State Northridge in Northridge, California, and we're basically designating drop zones, both at the university and at the student housing, so that students can basically get Dave's flown over to them so that they can enjoy it. And so finally, let's talk about the results. Because of all these technological things that we've implemented, we're seeing 5 orders on average, additional per restaurant that's got the Dave's of the Future program in comparison to our control stores. We're seeing higher GSAT scores due to a 12% reduction in guest complaints that are related to order accuracy issues. We're seeing about a 6% increase in check average because of the upsell tools that we're using. And obviously, the fry bot is so good at making fresh and hot fries for us that we're seeing a lower food cost at the restaurants that are using the fry bots. And with that, I want to thank you for your consideration.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Am I the only one that's really hungry for some fried chicken right now?
Get a drone.
So sorry to do that before lunch, but I'm sure that what we're going to have is going to be wonderful. So again, we want to have you consider any questions that you have for these great panelists, but in the meantime, we'll dive in a little bit deeper on some of these innovations. So you all shared, you're all in very different industries, very different services, but you all were thoughtful among your teams in planning your innovation and thinking about what you want to achieve. But I'm curious if there was anything that didn't go as planned, that was maybe a challenge that you didn't anticipate, and what you and your team did to overcome that. So we'll start again with Kate.
Sure thing, Jason, and great question. So one of the things about our Care Plus offering is that for a guest to be able to enroll in this extended warranty contract, they actually do need to bring their vehicle to us for an inspection of the vehicle prior to enrollment. Now, this is different than other extended car warranties, which you can typically purchase immediately online, but the reason that we do this is so that our guests have full transparency into what will and won't be covered on their vehicle, and we can give them the most competitive coverage for the items that will be covered. So part of this meant that our entire system needed to use a universal digital vehicle inspection, which is something we do in our industry to say what is going on with this health and status of your vehicle. Over the years, 40 years in business, we've got a lot of different people using that vehicle inspection, and we had really gone away from having a standard and universal version of that. So one of our biggest challenges was just overall adoption of this new process, making sure that people were using the same digital vehicle inspection going forward so that a guest didn't have any heartburn about getting an inspection that didn't qualify them to be covered by the warranty. So we really used our learning management system. We used peer group conversations with the franchisees. They had internal champions at their shops who were part of the shop team member group to help explain the benefits and the why behind that.
Beautiful, thank you, Kate. Brandy, how about you?
Sure. I think the first part of it was just identifying that there was a problem. It wasn't an obvious problem. We'd have, every once in a while you'd have feedback, but it wasn't this glaring problem. And I had inherited this process. I became a sales director early last year, and sometimes this is the process. This is how it's always been, instead of critically looking at it and saying, well, why can't we change it? So let's look at changing it. So that was the first part, of just identifying it, and then obviously just going to the web dev team and not being able to incorporate that on our website. I think that would have been the best option. Totally understand their bandwidth and all that and the processes to take place, but just finding the right platform and kind of problem solving that through, rather than giving up and just letting it go to the wayside and say, we can wait 2 to 3 years. I'm glad we didn't, and I'm glad we were able to find a platform that we were able to utilize and bring on and launch to our system.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, for us, the challenge was pretty surprising, right? So when we did the Voice AI project, from a technology perspective, we crushed it, right? So the industry celebrates a mid 70% fully autonomous order taking. And we're in the 80s, in the high 80s, like 88, 89% fully autonomous. So one might think, well, it's a great project, right? Let's roll it out everywhere. But what we found was that when we looked at our guest sentiment scores, we saw a lot of one-star reviews. And the one-star reviews said, love the food, get the effing robot out of here. And so that day, we literally killed the Voice AI project, right? But as I presented, we were using that Voice AI to train the system so that we can do more things. So now what we're doing is we're having the Voice AI system still listen to the order. It's not talking to the guest anymore. It's listening to the order, and it's ringing up the order on its own. And then once the order's been tendered by a human, it's basically comparing what it rang in versus what the human rang in so that it can self-adjust itself. And if it's made a mistake, then it listens to the audio recording and have it be that the person has an accent or they use a different word. It basically adjusts itself and it self-learns. So we're still able to do all those things downstream, or those things are still possible without us basically causing that friction with the guest.
Interesting. I love it. So I'll ask another question. When you thought about the results that you hope to achieve, you all had great results, but I'm curious if there's something that surprised you, or there was unexpected learning that you've been able to leverage in some different ways. So again, we'll start with you, Kate.
Yeah, sure. So I think for us, one of the most unexpected pieces was how quickly we were changing the product as we were putting it out to market. That was new for us. Our industry is a legacy industry where there's not a lot of significant change. But for this, when we launched the product, it had an enrollment fee for the guest. It had a number of requirements that ultimately we took away because we were hearing from our guests, hey, this would be much more digestible for me if I could enroll today and start paying the subscription price and not have an additional enrollment price on top of that, or if I could get coverage at this certain time. And so for us, and it was part of why we rolled this out to our franchisees in a really regimented, phased approach, was that we could have a certain number of stores online and make those changes live. So a lot of those changes were reflected in our website for this product, and our marketing materials were very quickly being iterated throughout the launch.
Interesting. Thank you, Kate. How about you, Brandy?
Sure. I think the most shocking or the most surprising is that our franchisees immediately loved it and wanted to incorporate it. At the home office, we want to think all our ideas are bangers and they're going to adopt them instantly. Not always the case, but in this case, they really did. They were really excited. They jumped on board. We did have a pilot group, so that helped us as well, but they immediately just adopted it. But I think it's really shown and proven the step in our process to really impact sales the most is that preparation prior to the appointment. You think the sales made at the home with the person there, that preparation step of that design quiz, gathering information on the front end really is the empowerment or the impacting of the sale when we get out to the home and meet with the person face to face. So it's probably the biggest.
Very cool. Thank you. How about you, Leon?
For us, the most surprising thing, listen, technology is surprising all in itself, right? But the most surprising thing was the kiosk project. And I fought kiosks for a very long time. I didn't want to have kiosks in our restaurants because if you've been to a McDonald's or Taco Bell, you see that the cashier's missing. And that was my whole fear. And also our president and COO's fear that we're going to turn into this fast food concept with guests that are like, why can't I order from a human? So we were very hesitant. But when we put in the kiosks, we noticed that the cashiers didn't go away. We're heavily franchised, right? So the first thing the franchisee wants to do is just get the cashier out and save on labor, but that didn't happen. But what did happen is that we noticed that the younger generation would wait in line for the kiosk, although there's a cashier standing behind the the cash register ready to take an order. So, so the younger generation really embraced the kiosk. And what we found is that the kiosk has a much higher check average than an in-store order, right? These are in-store orders, right? And so the check average and the incidence of kiosk orders was so high in our restaurant that, that we basically, the ROI on it was sub 1 year. And it's not like we're, you know, the extra increase in check lift was coming from, you know, the kiosk basically upcharging you at every opportunity. No, we don't even do that. We don't even say, hey, do you want to add cheese to that? If you miss that button, then you don't add cheese and we don't get that extra dollar from you. But it's just that people order more from the kiosk because maybe they feel more comfortable. And we didn't incorporate labor savings into the kiosk ROI. So it's purely from check lift. And that paid for the kiosk hardware and the wiring, the electrical and network wiring, because we were never ready for kiosks, right? So the franchisees had to do all that wiring and everything like that. And now we're at a point where we're rolling out the kiosks everywhere because it's just a win-win-win.
Interesting. Very cool.
Big surprise.
Well, I think we've got a couple minutes left. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was like, that was awesome. I thought,
Oh,
what a great idea.
I agree. We have a couple minutes left for maybe some questions from the audience. We've got some runners out there. If you want to raise your hand, if you have a question for these amazing leaders. We got one over here. All right, Heather's on her way. Thank you.
Hi. For the CEO, or for Dave's Hot Chicken, where did you source your fry bot? If you don't mind me asking.
We tried two different companies, and we landed on Atosa, the one that was in the video. We just basically went to the NRA show and looked at what was out there, what made sense for us, right? Because we didn't want to change the footprint of the kitchen, right? Because if this thing was to become a reality for us, we wanted to basically retrofit our kitchens the way they were. So we found, you know, it was Atosa and another restaurant, another robot company that basically did that, right? They just took your fry station the way it is and then put the robot arm on it. And we tested both of them. Atosa did much better and was much more affordable. And the thing is that this robot technology seems really expensive, right? I can't share how much this robot arm costs, but it's very affordable at this point. It's cheaper than your average car, let's just say. If you're not even a luxury car, like if you're buying like a Honda or a Toyota, it's about the same price or cheaper. So it is very much affordable, and it does have a real ROI attached to it.
Sorry, so follow-up question, sorry.
Yeah.
So you're able to implement this bot into the current layouts that you currently have on all your locations?
Absolutely, yes. That was the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that I'll tell you a little bit more about the ROI, right? The ROI doesn't come from labor savings, although what it does is that, we basically have two fryer stations, right? One for the kitchen, one for the chicken, not kitchen, one for the chicken and one for the fries. So it allows the chicken person to basically focus their full time on the chicken because the fries are being made, but the ROI, again, doesn't incorporate labor savings. What it did is that because the fries are so fresh, when the robot makes them, because it's constantly making fries and it's making small batches, what happens is that we basically use, those shaker cups? We basically fill a shaker cup with fries and then we dump it in your fry boat. That's how we measure your fries. And because the fries were so crispy and fresh, that every order got like one or two less fries in there. Not because we intended to do that, but because we just noticed what's going on with our food cost with fries. It looks really, really good. So then we tested the fries from the robot against the fries from a control store. And we sat there and counted a whole batch of fries, right? Like essentially like 20, 30 cups of them. And we go, wait a minute, we're serving one or two less fries per order. And that leaves the guest happy because their fries are crunchy and fresh all the time. And the byproduct of that is a lower food cost for us.
So cool. Interesting. Also making me hungry. Good question. Thank you. I think we have time for maybe one more before we wrap up.
Hi, June.
Okay, thank you. Larissa.
Hello, hello. There we go. Amazing innovations. Question for you. Could you share any best practices for some of the brands out in the audience today when it comes to who owns communications and rollouts of these programs, and any thoughts or ideas you have to ensure that that collaboration of who owns those communications is successful? Thank you.
Yeah, happily. So for us, specifically with this project, as I mentioned, we did have an interdepartmental committee. That committee really met on the rollout of Care Plus and still does meet on the product itself weekly to make decisions about technology changes, marketing changes, and communications. We also do have a project manager that helps across the entire company really prioritize for us technology products and rollouts, operational changes, and with the project manager and our internal communications team, we really work together back and forth to say what is priority for the company in terms of what we're achieving and putting out in a given quarter, in a given year. And then our internal comms team does own the ultimate creation of that content and distribution of that content and determines what channels it needs to fall into.
We're a pretty small team, so it's the leader of the project, and then I work with my teammates and my members, but I became responsible for the rollout. It nicely met up with our convention, our conference, so we were able to roll it out there and get everybody involved. But yeah, just bringing on different team members, but since I was the lead on it, I was the one responsible for putting it to fruition.
I mean, for us, it's a little bit different. I don't take on any technology initiatives without the partnership of ops or marketing or whoever the stakeholders are, right? Because IT usually is a cost center, right? We don't usually bring in very much revenue. So before I even put anything in test, I go to ops, marketing, whoever it is, right? That's going to be using the product or benefiting from it, and I ask them, "Are you interested?" "Yes." "Great." And then we put it in test, and so. And while we're testing, we're learning from a technology perspective on how to operationalize this thing. And then operations is also learning on how they're going to roll this out. And then so eventually operations owns the rollout and the communication and the process and all the Zoom meetings and everything like that. But we're with them every step of the way. It's not like we just dump the project on them. Once we go, it's successful, here you go, we dump it on them. We're there until the absolute end with them.
Beautiful. Well, with that, on behalf of the audience, I want to thank you for your leadership, Kate and Brandy and Leon, and your transparency that you've shared in your presentation and your openness to the questions today. So congratulations on being finalists for these awards, very well deserved, as I think we've seen. And with that, please give this amazing panel a round of applause.